All right, welcome everyone to today's class. So we will be continuing from where we stopped last class, design heuristic evaluation. So this is going to be the part 2 of the last class. So what should we be looking at learning today? So well, we know what heuristic evaluation is, so we are going to remind ourselves of that, and also how to conduct a heuristic evaluation, and also the application of it in design. It's majorly a practical topic, so we'll be looking at it together and then rubbing minds to actually see what it is. So let's look at practical applications of heuristic principles in design. So in our previous class, we looked at the first 5. So in today's class, we'll be continuing from the number 6 through 10. Okay, so let's start. So the first one says recognition rather than recall. So recognition rather than recall. So what does this mean? So it said recognition rather than recall is a usability principle that suggests user interface should make options, actions, and information visible and easy to recognize rather than requiring users to remember them from memory. Okay, so imagine you are using an application and suddenly the save button disappeared, or worst, or the labels decide to change from submit to confirm on a different screen. So how will this actually make a user feel? So this is what we mean by recognition rather than recall. So the user has to recognize, oh, that is the submit button is supposed to press, and not hit changing from different interface to another. Okay, so don't make users remember things. Show them what they need to know when they actually need to know it. In this you don't need to, users doesn't need to try to figure out things by themselves. So that's why we as designers, we make them know things that they are supposed to know at the right time too. Okay, so that was just the introductory part of it. So let's look at common violation and how to fix them. Okay, so we are talking about recognition rather than recall, remember. Okay, so we have the first error that people make is hidden or inconsistent labels. So the question is, well, have you ever clicked around an app trying to figure out what icon is the menu? So imagine an app where the hamburger menu only appears when you hover. So how will you know when you hover on that particular application? Or a submit button that changes to confirm or continue depending on the page. So always keep your label visible and familiar and also consistent. Okay. So the second one is lack of feedback or confirmation. So you click on pay on an e-commerce site and nothing happens. So the question that will be going on in your mind is, did it work? Or should I try again? Or did I just double pay? So things like this are going to make users think about or double think on using the applications. So this is a problem because users actually need an instant reassurance. So without it, they may repeat actions. They might click on it continuously, and that might cause traffic and the rest of it. So example of this could be, okay, no confirmation message after uploading a file, and a user will be thinking, oh, did this file go through, or should I reload it, or should I upload it again? So this is it. So the third one is so you land on a website and, well, Immediately you land on it, 10 banners, 3 pop-up, and a chat box and a news model all appears at the same time. And I think there is a website that actually does this. So excessive or irrelevant information are things we should avoid in this. So this is a problem because users will have so many choices. Like, oh, they'll be like, oh, which one should I do? Which one should I click? And the rest of it. They'll be trying to close one thing or the other, and mistakenly they might click on another thing. So we can call this oh yes, a free movie download site. Well, they do this a lot. Okay, so this is a creative overload. So that's a problem. So too many choices, and this might lead to decision paralysis. So as Theophilus has rightly said, this some free sites that we go to download movies. So they do this a lot. And we in design, it is wrong. It is wrong. So we have classic case of information overload. Users don't know where to look, so they miss on what actually matters. So what is the solution on this? So use progressive disclosure. Show info when it's needed. So when you need users to actually log in to your application, show them that. When you need users to actually subscribe to maybe a channel whatsoever, that is when you bring that up. I think there is also this site, think story sets. Story sets, what they do is, after downloading the illustration you want, they tell you that you should contribute. So things like that, is you've done your, like, a user has finished whatever wanted, that took him or her to the site. He has finished that, and now they're asking, okay, do you want to contribute? Or they tell you contribute to this. That is how it is supposed to be. It is a necessary information that they are giving, and it's also at the right time. Okay, so poor navigation or search. So let's say you are on a clothing site, and where do you click to see men's shoes? And then you look through the labeling, you don't see where they write, you just see shoes and the rest of it. Well, another approach that could take is, oh, shoes, and then from there you now filter to probably male shoes. But a better labeling could be, oh, this user actually wants to get a male shoe or wants to get a female shoe, and the rest of it. So users shouldn't need a map to actually locate whatever brought them to their application. So and that is where we now bring in search. Okay, we now bring in search and filter and well organized menu at the same time. So let's look at the feed one. The feed one says you try to enter your birthday and the form tells you, please use MMDDYY format. So in this case, why not use why not let users speak from a date speaker? Okay. And well, I think there are some websites that uses month, day, and then year format. And I don't think, and also most users might not be familiar with this particular input. And or you now decide to, okay, tell users to include this particular date. Use Control Shift Alternate Z to actually to save the date of birth after filling in all these forms. But that is not it. So use, we discussed about last class that use familiar, let's use as or when you are designing, use familiar elements. Use things that users are already familiar with. Don't try to bring in new things. Don't try to be too creative, and then think outside the box. So accepting multiple formats using helpful input hints or auto formatting could help in this. So users could mistakenly, oh, they did not know it is month, one day, and the year. So what they could do is, after typing it, it could auto format it to what the system wants. So this is a way we can also sort this. All right, so this is what I was talking about, hidden or inconsistent labels. So we can see this. So when you look at the one at the right, you see that users might not know, oh, where is the home, which one is home, apart from the fact that we know this is the home icon. But look at the second icon. Who would know that this icon here is for dashboard? Okay, no one will know that this icon here is for dashboard. So while bringing in those icons, try to also bring in text. So we call them help text to help the users. Okay, bring in hint to also help the users. So you can see here we have, by the icon, we have home, we have dashboard, we have settings, we have profile. That's the same thing WhatsApp does. So on WhatsApp, when you open your WhatsApp, you see home, you see chats and the likes of it, profile. So with that, it's helping users. Okay, it helps users. So there is no hidden or inconsistent label, and there's no unfamiliar icons. Okay, so on the second part, we can see that we have a search bar here. So this, what does this do? It does not it doesn't keep users to searching or to guessing what they wanted to type. Most times when we want to search something, most times we are humans and we might forget the spelling or actually how to put it so that it can prompt Chrome or whatever search tool we want to use. So in that case, what do we do? So you can see here in your in the search bar here, it is now telling us how it is. It's now telling us, oh, this is what you are looking for. So this help users not guess. And this is a very rich search and navigation system that we should also adapt to. Okay, so keynote, think of recognition like seeing your friend's face in a cloud, which is easy. So, but recall is like trying to describe their face to a sketch artist, which is of course much harder. So you'll be trying to say, oh, the nose was here, the how does the nose look, is pointed to about how many centimeters and the rest. Oh, what happened to the face? It has shrink or whatever. So doing that is hard. But when once you see your friend in a crowd, you can easily recognize the person. You can be like, oh yes, my friend, you can just go across and engage the person. So that's why when we design interfaces, we need to show cues, suggestions, and visible elements so that users can recognize what to do instead of trying to remember it. So the number 7 is flexibility and efficiency of use. Flexibility and efficiency of use. So we say that this principle emphasizes designing interfaces that support both novice and expert users, and also allowing experienced users to accelerate interactions while ensuring new users aren't overwhelmed. Okay, so this is where when you are designing, you have to be simple. You design simple. You don't bring in too much animations. Someone is trying to click a button and then the button is running away from the guy, except you want to eradicate laziness. Someone set an alarm and then, oh, you don't want the person to snooze the alarm, you want the person to stand up. Well, you can actually bring that up. Well, okay, so but when designing, don't bring in too many interactions, um too many animations and the rest. Just let it be minimal. Let it so that new users or novice users can actually use it and then not be guessing where does this or how does this do or how does this work. Okay, so how can you use flexibility and efficiency of use principle? How do we actually integrate this? So one of the ways we can use this is by introducing shortcuts and accelerators. So all of us, I think most times while using an application, even even if that's the first time we are using that application, all of us, we have used Control C. We know, oh, Control C will do copy, Control A will highlight all, Control V would even paste it. So we've used these particular controls or shortcuts without even thinking about what is it going to do, because we actually know what it is going to do. So this is a shortcut and it saves times. Okay. And also, if you look at Gmail has a shortcut for achieving and also for deleting things, and which is, I think that should be Shift I. Okay, Shift I. What Shift I does is it marks all as read. Okay. And then in Figma, well, we know what Figma does. If we hold our space, space is for pan, V is for pick tool, P is for pen tool, and the rest of it and the likes of it. So, and also in Instagram, when we double tap, we like. So those are shortcuts. It makes it well easy for users to be flexible and also for them to be efficient while trying to use the application. So another ways we can integrate this principle is by introducing multiple modes of interactions. So have you ever tried using Google Maps with your voice while driving? So in this case, Google Map has introduced voice interactions or voice accessibility into Google Maps, such that when users are driving or they instead of being distracted by using their hand to touch and the likes of it, you now see that is where they now introduce the voice so that you can now be communicating and then speaking. So users want to interact their way, they want to touch, they want to use voice, and they want to use mouse, and then they also want to use keyboard. And so that's where Google Maps now bring in touch and scroll wheel, keyboard, voice, and the rest. And then we now have Hey Siri and Hey Alexa and then even Hey Google and the likes of it. So those are voice commands that has been been integrated so that users can actually be flexible and use and also have be efficient in their use of apps. So we also have what we call UI customization. So in here, we now use a case study of Spotify. So Spotify lets you build playlists, and Twitter also lets you change your font style. And most application does this. They help you because you don't know who this user does he is he short-sighted, is he long-sighted, or what does this user actually want. So they help you customize it. So in this case, this is what we are talking about, customization. So this lets people create their own comfortable space and also creates room for great accessibility. Okay. So we now look at context-aware design. So when we say context-aware design, so this is where you need suggestions when trying to assess things. Remember in our previous example, we show where while searching on a Chrome. So Chrome, what Chrome does is they show you, oh, is this what you want to search and the likes of it. So Netflix suggests shows based on past viewing, okay, and iPhones, iOS moves apps to the front based on your habit. So the more application you use, and in iOS, that's what comes up to your recent. So that's why most times when we design, we now pick from the recent of users and show them, oh, this was your recent transaction, this was your recent view chart, and this and the likes of it. And we also have simplicity versus functionality. So think of Airbnb. So this is an application. So at first, when you enter Airbnb, so what it does is it shows you, I think, home, and I think there's also two new menu bar that they brought in. So think of where at first you just get filter and a map. So if you want to move from that a particular a workspace. So that's when you now click on more, you want more, and the likes of it. You now view to check more. So that's progressive disclosure. Because it shows what's needed now and then also reveals more later. Also avoid overwhelming new users, but still empowers experts. So when you are designing, be simple and also think of the functionality at the same time. So we're talking about flexibility and efficiency. So this is from Google's slide. So when we're talking about flexibility, a user might want to share his or want to share access to um, for a user to access his or her document. So Google slide or Google in generally slides, sheets, and the likes of it that make it possible that users can actually do this. So by clicking on copy link, that does the work. And you can also from here decide to tell, oh, I don't want users to be able to edit or share this particular. I only want them to view and then I only want them to comment on it. So that is what it means by being flexible and efficiency of use. Okay. So the second example is this. So if we look at the first and the second one, so which one has more flexibility? Which one has more flexibility? Is it the one to the right or is it the one to the left? Is there anybody that can attempt this? Which one do you think is more flexible? All right, Mr. Yemi, please go ahead.
You want to the right, and that's because it gives more options. You can use a keyboard shortcut if you want. You can just decide what you want, whatever is best for you, whatever is easier for you. So there's flexibility and there's efficiency.
Okay. Thank you. Think that's basically it. So here shows users that, oh yes, you can actually press Control C. You can press Control X and it cuts, Control C copies, and Control V actually paste. So if this is efficiency of use, you give users the ability to be flexible, excuse me, to be flexible and also tell them, oh, if you do this, it can actually ease your work. So this making users use their laptop, keyboard, also use their shortcuts and also their mouse, whatever users might feel easy to use at a time. So Keynote, the best interfaces are like a good pair of shoes. They fit whether you're working for the first time or you're running a marathon. So your design should always grow with users. Don't make your design go outside the users' expectations and the rest, or what users might actually want to achieve. All right, so that takes us to the eighth item, aesthetic and minimalist design. So what do we mean by this? So this is a style of design that focuses on reducing unnecessary elements, you also simplifying the layout and enhancing the visual harmony of the interface. So aesthetic and minimalist design aims to achieve a balance between forms and functions and also convey the essential information and features to the users without distractions or clutter. Okay. So what are the benefits of this? When we talk about aesthetic and minimalistic, so what do we get to benefit from this? So this improves user satisfaction and engagement. So when users uses a clean, attractive interface, so it is more pleasant to their eye, and it also make users feel comfortable and more likely to stay and explore. So I think recently I've tried to use a data application, and while exploring the Play Store, I happened to download multiple data applications. So while going through it, if I open the application for the first time and then I notice that the design is not clean, I uninstall it instantly. So instead of just downloading it directly, we always see a catalog, there's always where they display a screenshot of the design. So I'll of the app. So what I do is I go through it first. If the arrangement does not meet if I'm not satisfied with the arrangement, I will just exit it and then go check out another ones. So users get more comfortable when they see applications that they can use comfortably, and when they use it, there is no too much distractions and the rest of it. So they tend to stay longer in such applications and explore what they actually want to do. So example is Apple's slick UI design. So if you look at Apple's design, like basically they are intriguing. So users love Apple. Most times why users don't why users use Apple products is because of the the interface and the rest. Also another example is the new Windows 11. At first, when I saw the new window, I was like, why is this window looking like this? But when I happened to use it and the way, well, recently I have a problem with my microphone, and I was like, let me go and change it. So I was recommended, why not change the Windows from Windows 11 to probably 10? Maybe it could be that the Windows is not compatible with your device. Well, what I told the guy was, forget it. Don't worry. I'll work something out. Like I'll figure out ways to use my laptop. Also access the mic too. So like I want to spend more. So the solution to it was that I have to spend, or I will need to spend huge amounts of money again, 30,000 naira to get maybe an external microphone to integrate it. But this is something that can easily be solved by probably, okay, changing the windows. But because of the sleek UI design of Windows 11, I said, no, 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 no. The functionality or the attraction of the interface is worth more than me uh, like me spending more money on getting these things. It cannot be compared to how comfortable and how happy I am when I use this particular windows. So when designing, think of user satisfaction and engagement, and this can be achieved by using um design or using interfaces that are less distracting. Okay, so enhance user performance and efficiency. So in this, remove visual clutter and focus only on essential elements. And with this, users can complete tasks faster with fewer errors. So this is when it has to do with Google search. So we look at the example that I gave before. So when using Google, you see that the home page puts the search bar in front and at the center. So with that, it tells you, I know this is what you are coming here for. You want to search for a particular thing. So just come here, search your stuff, then get whatever you want to get, and then nothing is going to distract you. If you get distracted and then search another thing, well, that's you. That's on you, and that is not on Google. Because Google has made it possible that you don't get distracted while using the application. Okay, so also support the number third three one is your design should support user goals with clarity. So a minimalistic interface reduces decision fatigue and confusion by presenting what's relevant at each step. So this using a case study of Airbnb, so it gives you filter only when you need them. It brings more filter only when you need them. So letting you focus on just the booking, and also not trying to figure out how does this site work? How do I go back from this filter option that I have integrated? All right. So boost the number four one is that it boosts trust and credibility. Okay, so a polished and consistent and visually appealing design signals quality and professionalism, increasing user trust. There is one of the projects I'm currently working on, a personal project. While the developer was developing it, like as the developer himself was working on it, he said he was happy developing it. Why? Because the design was just professional. Like it was sleek, no much color combinations, no distracting elements, and the rest of it, and the likes of it. So when designing, let it be consistent and visually appealing to users. Don't carry red, carry purple, carry indigo because you want to you want to explore. You decide to explore things. As I said earlier, personally I judge applications, like I judge a brand, like I judge a product by the design. Forget about the functionality. If network, even if network does not come or network is disturbing, I will still use I will wait till I use that particular application. There is a data application I used before. So in this application, I happened to use another app. I had two applications I used before. And what happened in this case was that there's first the design was, well, the design was good, but it was not up to the standard of the second one. And now the first one, the data was more expensive than the second guy. So in this case, a normal user, I am an abnormal user. So a normal user would use the one that maybe, oh, I want that functionality of, oh, my data is uh more cost efficient in this rather than the other one. But me, I use, even though the other application was more costly, I used that one to buy my data because I enjoyed it. Imagine putting a wrong number and it tells you, oh, this number is not an MTN number. This number is not a number that this particular device is conversant with. Are you sure this is the number you want to actually buy the data to? Then those functionality, it was like I have a trust, like, oh yes, I can't sell in data, or I can't buy data to a different number. So this is what we talk about, quality and also professionalism. So think of a fintech app with elegant dashboard. So this builds user trust, especially when handling sensitive data. So as I've also used an example of a data app here. Okay, so the third one is prevents errors and also guides behavior. So let your application have fewer distraction. So also it is easier for users to spot feedback, instructions, or warning. Also help them stay on track. So when you prevent errors and also guide users on using the application, it will help them stay on track, and also it will help them spot warnings and the rest of it. Also, example could be a form UI with clean and minimal layout. So with this, you can see that error messages will be easily seen, and then also tips will also be easily noticed. Okay, so what are the challenges in this case? So the challenges is always balancing simplicity with functionality. So you could have a question that could come up with, oh, so how do we actually, when you said simplicity and functionality, well, how does that really work? So you say here, by while minimalism reduces clutter, it is easy to oversimplify and always strip away necessary features. So when being simple, don't don't be too simple that, oh, you're supposed to bring in a username and a password. You said, oh, no, 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 that the only functionality you want is the username. So what if 10 people or 5 people have the same username? So how do the system tends to, check who, or the authentication of whosoever owns the app? Or it just using a username like that will make it easier for persons to actually um get into other person's data and then do whatever they want to do. So we say here that a form with only two visible field might confuse users who need more option. Hiding those reduce usability. So if you hide things like these visible fields, it will reduce usability and then make users not have trust on this application. So we can say that minimal, being minimal doesn't mean you should um, miss on certain features. You should skip on missing on certain features. So always ask questions like, what does the user actually need right now? And then with that, you work on that particular functionality. Okay, so we say here aesthetics and versus usability trade-offs. So we'll always have problem with this. Clean, beautiful UIs may unintentionally hide key features or reduce discoverability for new users. So if new users, for an example, new user is coming into, there's a particular application I'm designing currently now. And while in a review class, a review with the stakeholders, on the card of the design. So they're asking me, how do users actually exploit these particular applications? How do they see the content on this app? And what I did was that a user can only see it by hovering. Like if I hover on the card, then it will now pop up an icon, so that I can now click on the icon and then view the content of it. I was just trying to have a clean and then a minimalistic UI, such that I don't have too much content on the card and the likes of it. So um okay, that's why I use an example here. Icon only menus may look modern, but it will leave users guessing on what each icon does. So the question that I was asked by one of the stakeholders was, what does this eye does? Like, does it hide this particular content, or what does it do? So that was when I was like, oh yes, that's true. Because basically users, we are used to the fact that an eye icon is used to hiding. When I click on it, I hide. When I unclick on it, I then unhide it. So I was asked this question, then I now thought on it. So icon only, it is going to distract users. Users are going to be double guessing, what does this do? And then they click on it, and then that's not what they want, and then they will go back and then try to see how to navigate or how to reach that particular features they want. So always use an icon, and then also join it with an hint text or whatsoever, a way to actually tell users this is what this does, and not keep them on guessing mode. So we have here the number 3 to be accessibility concern. So minimalistic design often use subtle colors, small text, or low contrast, making them difficult for users with visual impairments or cognitive challenges. So while using colors, combining colors, your text sizes, and the likes of it, always think about that there are users that have visual challenges. They can't see the color very well. Most times, when using a body text, we are always advised that a body text color or should not be that thick, or should not be that black. If you are using black, should not be that black. So, but at the same time, don't go and use an off-white, off-white color, FC, FC, F2, F2, or the likes of it. Use, maybe you can, most in my body text, mostly what I use is a color code 1C, 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 and there are other color codes we can use for that. So when making design, as much as we want our design that no too much color, and the font should not be that too big and the likes of it, we should always think about that there are users that they cannot read tiny text. Okay, so that's when we now come to what is the industry based font sizes and the likes of it. So for body text on mobile, it is always advisable you use 14 and 16. And for desktop, you always be told 16, 18, 20, and the likes of it. So don't use 12 in a desktop view. This will make users zoom in the entire interface just to go and see this particular text. So when designing, and then we want our design to be as sleek as possible, well, it is good, but also let's not also derail from it. Okay, Gift, you said I should say it again. Which part did you not hear?
Please say the body text for mobile again.
Okay. So I was saying what I use personally for body text. For body text in a mobile, I use 14 and 16. Well, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. Do I? Nah. I just chip in 12 when maybe I want to bring in an hint or the likes of it. Okay, I want to give an hint or something. Then for desktop, I use 16, 18, 20. Okay, for the body text, depending on where the usage is. All right. Okay, so the feed one is or okay, I think this should be the fourth one is loss of personality or brand identity. So most times, while in pursuit of minimalism, most designers will risk ending up with a bland or generic designs that lack emotional impact or brand uniqueness. So in most cases, when we try to design, we'll go outside of color scheme and font just because we want to we like this particular font, or we like this particular color combinations and the rest. In as much as you are free to like combine things, it is not in a particular application or a particular product that has already the brand has already been there. So imagine you are seeing a design of KodeCamp, which is lemon and blue, but what you are seeing is red and indigo. Okay, you are seeing red and indigo and purple inside, and they are writing the KodeCamp. Even yourself, you will not open the application, you will not open the website because why? It has lost the brand uniqueness. There is no brand identity there. So in pursuit of minimalism, um, users always end up, as I said earlier, end up risking brand uniqueness. Okay, so then number five, fifth one is some leaks interface lack cues or hints, forcing users to explore by trials and error. As I said earlier, while using, okay, let's say a user wants to input a password, tell the user, oh, this is the password, how the password should be. The required, I want a character, I want number, I want an uppercase, I want a lowercase, should be mixed like that. Don't let users doing trial and error. I put a password and they're telling, oh, like most times in worst case scenarios, like what most website does is when once they will reset the form entirely, not even telling you, this is why this happens, this is why this is what is expected of you as a user. So when doing this, we should always give users hints or cues on what we actually want from them. Okay. All right. Minimalistic design isn't just about what you remove, it's about what you choose to live in. So make every element in its place. All right. So let's look at another how to conduct heuristic evaluation for this particular stage, aesthetic and minimalist design. So the first thing you should always ask is or you should define is the scope and the goals. Ask yourself, what part of the UI are we evaluating? So what kind of users and use cases are we focusing on? And are we assessing aesthetic, usability, or are we doing both? So Example of it could be we are evaluating a mobile checkout screen for new customers with visual impairment in mind. So this, what do you do in this case? That means you have to look at your color. How is your color? Is it visual enough for visual impaired users to actually use it? Okay. So the second one is you should select relevant heuristic. So in this, use proven guidelines to judge the design. So which we are talking about now. Okay, so Nelson's 10 usability heuristics. So that's the recommended set. So we also have Linswell universal principle of designs, and which and we should always focus on aesthetic and minimalist design, visibility of system status, recognition rather than recall, consistency and standards. So these are where you should mostly focus on. I'm not saying other principles are not necessary, but on your focus on this particular stage when you are evaluating a particular application or you are evaluating a particular website. These are things your major focus where it should be. So another thing is you should recruit multiple evaluators. So involve 3 to 5 experts with different lenses. So as a UI UX designer, if you should evaluate, what you will see majorly is going to be the UI. Is the button as it is one side more rounded than the other and things like that. But what a developer is going to see is going to be, oh, when we're talking about let's look at example date picker. No, this particular UI you just created is not, like, users are not used to it. Like, users don't know this particular date picker. Users can't use this and the likes of it. So that's why when doing this, involve 3 to 5 persons or more. If you have the power to do it, involve 20 persons, 20 experts. So this should be in a different field, in a different form. You can also bring in, as a designer, you can also bring a designer to it. So always include UX designers, developers. I said here optional, but it is always insightful. I once did a project, I think during my internship in KodeCamp or in Code House. So the project was, after finishing designing, I was pleased with my design and I did my animations and the rest of it. I prototyped it very well. I sat down, I was happy, I found myself. But when the developer came, he was like, this particular stuff you did here is unrealistic. Okay. Why? It is unnecessary. So in that case, users might find it too much when they are navigating that particular application. So I had to change it. So this was possible because I involved a developer in the evaluation. So I bring in domain experts or accessibility specialists, whatever teammates you feel should come in. All right, so evaluate independently using a rating scale. So each evaluator reviews the interface individually. Use a 1 to 5 scale. So yeah, as we proceed, we are going to see how this 1 to 5 scale really works. So identify violations, suggest improvements, and the likes of it. So this scale is what is going to help us achieve this particular side. Okay. So also gather, um synthesize, analyze the results. So look for patterns. Don't ignore the minor ones. So what to extract? So extract average rating per heuristic, 70 of each problems, themes or repeated concern, actionable suggestions, use a 70 scale. So that could be, example is always minor, moderate, critical. Is the problem that I have analyzed or evaluated and I've seen it, is it a minor problem? Can we host and then this problem still exists? Or do we need to solve it first before we actually host it? Is it a critical one? So things like this are patterns or are things we should look at to extract while analyzing. All right. So how do we improve our aesthetic and minimalist design skill? How do we improve this skill? So how do we do this? Then the first important one is study examples. Study examples. Look at what people have done before. When you look at it and then you know these evaluations principles, these holistic evaluation principles, you will see that it will be easier for us to pick our mood board easily. And also, and when we design, we'll feel to ourselves, oh yes, that this is good. So compare minimal UIs like Google or Apple, and there are more applications to or more websites to use for this. So explore bad minimalist design too. So and ask yourself why they fail. So when choosing a mood board, um, pick the design you feel is not worthy. Pick the one that you feel, oh yes, it has meet the requirement. Compare the two and then see where the error was and where the mistakes were and the likes of it. Also, use design tools. So design tools could be wireframing, prototypes to test visual, and also introduce style guides for consistency. And also usability testing tools like Mazda, Useberry, or Figma prototypes. So Figma prototype is one of the ways you can actually do usability test. When you send out your prototype for people to test and to see how it works, that is you doing usability test. All right. The last thing or the last way we can go about this is by seeking for feedback. Okay, seek for feedback. Ask peer reviews. It could be within your fellow designer. It could also be from the stakeholder. It could also be from user testing. You could do a prototype of it and then send it across around for persons to test it. And also do a heuristic walkthrough. So look at all the 10 heuristic. Does this particular design that I've done, does it meet this requirement? I'm not saying you have to be perfect. So let your error be minimal. Let your error not be noticeable. You can be perfect in design and the likes of it. All right. So let's look at the item number 9. So we said one of the principles is help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. Okay, so what do we mean? So we said here that um, the key principle should be of recognition is recognition and not confusion. So if you are telling users that there is an error, use plain languages. Avoid using error codes like error 0x. What we don't know. Users don't know what that stands for. What do you mean by error? What do I do with those errors? Or what do I do with the error code? But most times, error codes I think basically Windows are what um are are those that uses this. They'll tell you your system lacks 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 5. Well, they actually even tell you what causes the error. So imagine a window, you're trying to install something and they're telling you error 51225 found. What is that particular error? So, but when it comes to, oh, they'll tell you this error and this is actually how to, they'll now give you a hint or a link there. They say troubleshoot or whatever you want to do. Okay. So another principle is diagnosis. So briefly explain what went wrong in user-friendly terms. And the last is recovery. Offer step-by-step suggestion or even fix it for the users or for the user when possible. So instead of telling user, well, you can still tell user This is how actually how to approach this. From point A, you can go to point B. From point B, you can jump point C by clicking this. Okay. That's also a suggestion or a step-by-step suggestion and a hint for users to follow. And also, most times, if they find, I think another way we can actually approach this, if a user find himself or are in a problem, a better way is when once a system recognizes that this is the problem that this user is actually facing, automatically it should direct the user to where the user should learn more about that particular problem, or yes, and also how to solve that particular problem. So that is the recovery part of it. So you offer a step-by-step suggestion telling the user, oh, this is the problem you are facing, or this is the error that you've had. So this is a step-by-step suggestion or a step-by-step way on actually how to do it so as not to face that error again. All right. So I have here good versus bad example of helping users. So if you tell users 404 page not found, well, that's a bad error. So a good error could be should be telling we couldn't find that page. It may be because it has been moved or deleted. So I think yes, Google does this too. When once your network is bad, it will tell you, what does it even say? uh, but the hint it gives you is no internet connection. So that's the hint. It tells you that there's no internet connection. So when you do that, what you do is you now look at, that's when your eye will now go to, oh yes, my internet was not connecting, or there was a disconnection whatsoever that caused it. All right, so the second example is invalid input. Invalid input, what is invalid at the point? Okay, so he said use a valid phone number format in the format. So it could be that, we wanted the user to start with +234 as they start with a country code first before the number. So instead of just 0812345678 so we just wanted them to start with the code. So this is how we can help users recognize and also recover from errors. So pro tip, highlight field causing the error. Okay, avoid technical jargons. Example, server failed to respond. So instead of saying this, why not say we are having trouble connecting, please try again later. All right, so they can also let users retry by starting over. Okay, so we could have think yes, Google also does it that if there is no network, what we can actually do is to go click the top on the close to the search bar, the refresh icon. So with that, it refreshes the screen. And most times, what Google does is when once your internet connection comes in, automatically it's retry itself. Okay, so add links to help or FAQ for complex issues. So if there are issues that cannot be solved easily, so let there be an help button or a frequently asked questions section that can actually help users on that. So in this particular phase, what are the questions we should ask? So questions we should ask is the error message in plain languages? Or does it point out why and what? Does it offer one or more recovery actions? And is the tone polite and non-blaming? And is it visual and near the point of error? Or yeah, is it visible, sorry, and near the point of error? So when giving them hints and then trying to let them um diagnose and recover from an error, make it visible for them, and also make it near um where that error occurred. Imagine you are typing a password and maybe they are telling you password does not match, and password does not match hint is now showing on where you have username. It is visible, but it is not near the point of the error. So what that should be, point does not match should be under the input field of the particular input field that had the issue. All right. So example here is we are having here help text example. So we can see that what they did here was, sorry, we couldn't find an account. After the user might have put in this password, it says, sorry, we couldn't find an account with that username. And then they ask you, can we help you recover your username? Okay. So help users, help them. They need our help. So can we help you recover your email? And the same thing goes with the password part. Sorry, that password isn't right. Can we help you recover your password? Okay. Okay, so we also have this particular flow here. So we can see that it will be easier if we were navigating on this particular device. This is a window explorer. So we're navigating on these windows, and then all of a sudden we tend to get lost on our way to where we are going to. So what are the things we do? We see that over here it shows users, oh, that this was where you started from. This is you went through the local disk. From the local disk you went to the program file. From there you were now navigated to the Windows security browse core and the likes of it, and this where you found yourself. Okay. All right. So the last of its kind is help and documentation. So this is the last principle, heuristic evaluation principle, help and documentation. So we say, yeah, even though it is better if the system can be used without documentation, it may be necessary to provide help and documentation. So any such information should be easy to search, and then should also focus on user tasks, and also have a list, also list concrete steps to be carried out, and it should not be too large. Okay, so in this case, most applications that we use, we tend not to actually understand how we navigate the application itself. So this is where help comes in, and this is where the user or the product owner now tell you, or the designer now tell you, oh, this is how to navigate this. From here you now move to here, and you achieve the given task or the reason why you came in. So pro tip, highlight the exact field cause okay, I think this is a wrong slide here. Sorry about that. Okay, so key principles on this help. So it should be findable. So when documenting or when bringing in the help, it should be findable. So help should be easy to locate when needed. So there should be a question mark behind or by the side of whatever the user wants to, whatever task the user wants to do. In most cases, yes, there's always a question mark and there's always an info icon. So those are the two most used icons, or most used icons to actually make it easier for users to get access to the help when they need it. So it should also be task specific. Tailored tailor the help to the exact task or screen. Okay, so avoid sending users to on a wild goose chase. So when a user wants a particular problem to be solved and then searches the particular problem, be exact on the help you are providing. Don't tell them, oh, maybe when you click on this or when you click on this, show them step by step with a flow. Okay, click on search. When you click on search, filter whatever you want to do, and then proceed to view whatever you want to do. Also, let it also be searchable. So in searchability, let it have keywords that is relevant to the help the user wants. So keywords could be, oh, the user is having issues with login. So include keywords of login and then make it so that when a user searches login, what comes up is not home page or whatsoever. Let it be login that comes out. Let it be what the user wants that comes out. Also, we have step-by-step guidelines. Explain processes clearer. Okay. Use numbered step, visuals, or tooltip if possible. Okay. So you can use step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. These are the steps. And then on this process, you can go back to step 2 to, okay, start all over or do this again. If you experience this in step 1, this is what you should do if you experience it. So these are step-by-step guidelines. These are things that should be found on your documentation and your help page. Okay, let there be a built-in assistant. So inline help like tooltip or field hint reduces reliance on full documentation. So as I said earlier, on your password, you can include hints. Okay, this is what I want. So make sure it is this. And on the design, I most times also include if the password is weak, if the password is good, or if the password is perfect. Okay, so this is when we are talking about case study of password and likes of it. All right. So a cool tip here is provide FAQs and bring in live chats and also search bars within help sections. And also use simple languages. They should not be technical jargons that will only be understood by developers and the click. It's not, we are not designing for us, we are designing for the users. And also keep help updated as products evolve. Don't tell that, oh, you go to menu, from menu you now see export, whereas the export is now in format. So let your help be updated. Okay, so link help docs directly from error messages or empty state. So the help link of an error message should be linked directly to where the help is. Do you have problem logging in, or did you forget your password? Reset your password here. If I click on reset my password here, it should take me to reset password here. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have types of help in website and application. We have two types, and the two types, number one is proactive help. So this is help that is provided before a user encounters a problem. So it's designed to prevent confusion or mistakes. So example of this is onboarding and tooltips, empty state instruction, and features are that highlights after updates. So this helps to educate users early to reduce support helps and also improve confidence. All right. So this is an example. So an example here. Remember that we say it is an onboarding. So we can see that here it tells you, oh, choose a template that we have this template here. Oh, or is it a blank project that you want to do? Or do you want to import a spreadsheet and the likes of it? Okay. So we have the second one to be reactive help. This is help that is assessed after a user runs into an issue or confusion. It is user initiated. So these example are help centers or FAQs, searchable documentation, step-by-step video guide and tutorials, and chatbots or live support. Okay, so while some users explore reactive help proactively, most engage with it only when it is necessary. All right. So this is an example of when we say reactive help. This is an example of it. So you can see that here is a source from Figma. So Figma is telling you, oh, before you start, users on any Figma team, they now tell you the step-by-step flow. Oh, this is how to select text layers, this is how to select single layers, and this is how to select text multi text layers and the likes of it. Okay, so this is example of reactive help. So before, a user actually had to search this particular help since he was actually not understanding things. Whereas, so the difference between reactive and proactive is reactive is user um, initiated, while proactive, well, it is we that tell them, oh, as you are coming to this particular application, these are things you should look out for, and this is how to actually navigate this particular flow. Okay, so said proactive help equals to um, prevent problems, while reactive solve problems. So a help design product balances both to support users before and after challenges arises. So don't just focus on one, focus on the both. So now we've learned about this whole heuristic evaluation. We now see, oh yes, so this is what we mean by heuristic. We've looked at the 10 uh, scalability, visibility, error, help users, should prevent error and the likes of it. So how do we actually carry out this evaluation for any application? Be it a website, be it a mobile app, be it a web app and the likes of it. Okay, so recall that heuristic evaluation is a visibility inspection method where one or more evaluators examine the interface and judges its compliance with recognized usability principle. Okay, so the step one is that you should understand the product and business requirement. Okay, so understanding the product and business requirements. So in this case, you should always ask questions like, what is the product about? Identify the core functionality, the core function. So is the product an e-commerce app? Is it an help tracker? Is it a B2B dashboard? Okay, so understand its primary use cases. So is it personal use? Is it business operations? Is it for social interactions and the likes of it? And so in this case, what is the business goal? What does the company or what does the stakeholders, what do they want to achieve? Is it for revenue generation? Is it for customer retention or engagement? Is it for cost efficiency or competitive differentiation? So these are questions we should ask ourselves. All right. So step two is identify users' personas and their needs. All right. So how do we do that? Create user personas relevant to the product. And for each personas, define their goals, identify the key tasks they want to complete, and then also consider multiple tasks to achieving that task. So example of this could be, oh, that the persona is an online shopper, and the task he or she wants to do is he wants to search and purchase the phone. So what's the path this user can take? So it's for the user to search, also user to filter, and then from there, after searching, it goes to, it filters from there, it will now take him or her to the product page. Then from there, you now select the product and then add the product to cart and then check out. Okay, so this is a flow of this of how a user persona should look like. All right, so what is a scenario? What should a scenario consist of? So we have that a scenario should consist of context, goals, and action. So a context is, in what context does user want to use the product? And what does the user want to accomplish? And what action is what does the user do with the product to achieve this particular goal? So let's look at an example here. So the context is David moved to a new city and is struggling to manage his finances. So he wants to track his expenses and save better. So he hears about a budgeting app through a friend. So the goal here is that he wants to sign up, link his bank app easily so that he can begin tracking and spending right away, and also save better. So the action he does here is that he installs the budgeting app, he follows the prompt to create an action, and then he connects it to his bank. Okay, so this is how our scenario should look like. All right, step 3 is that go through the user journey and accomplish the task. So don't just be the designer, be the user. Don't just be the designer. Use after designing, use it as the user's way. Okay, I say here act as the personnel. Perform the key tasks from start to finish. So if it was a workout application and you said, oh, the user wants to create a workout, then create the workout. See, oh, if I wanted to create this workout, is this how I would have loved it to be done? Is this how I would have wanted it to be done? So, and also use most likely path, but also test alternative one. Okay, don't just focus on one flow. So it could be that, oh, this user number one loves this particular flow, number two love the other one, number three love the other one, and then move love the other one that you did not implement. So test the two flows. So which one do people feel more comfortable to use? Then jump on that one. So you should always focus, your focus should be on navigation, should be on feedback, should be on input forms, error messages, and help documentations. So while in this, repeat the process over and over again, because this is actually going to help you sort out where problems are, different types of problems. Okay, so step 4 is document the list of heuristic issues identified in the journey. So while in this process, document the list, because when you document it, you'll see it will help you track it and then work on it easily. So note any issues that breaks usability principles. Then always reference Nielsen's 10 heuristic or any other um, better heuristic principles that is out there. So what should you record? So record what the issue is, record where it occurred, which heuristic it has violated, and then optionally you can bring in screenshots and visual aids to help you solve this problem. If we can remember our previous task, the task we are currently on. So this particular flow or this particular step is what I expected of us. So you tell us, oh, this is the issue and this is where it occurred, and well, and this is the screenshot of this particular stuff, and this is how it looked like. Okay, so don't overlook small issues. Even minor frictions can give great experiences. Small things can spoil your design. It can be, oh, that you make a mistake in one thing or the other, and then it's going to affect the entire process. All right, the step number 5 is prioritize the list of issues by adding severity rating. I talked about this the other time. I told you that we are going to look at it um how it is supposed to be, or what does you said scale of 1 to 5, what does this scale, how do we scale this? All right, so now here is you said that the 70 rating is as follows. Number one, so if the particular product that you are evaluating has a scale, you want to rate it as scale of 1, that means this particular um product usability testing failure or future is distracting to customers. So we can call it a cosmetic or detailed defect, and we can give it a probability of low. Okay, and then also the impact of low. So users will not be when it comes to them thinking twice on it, it is low, and the impact it has on customers using it or users using the particular application is also low. So irritant. So this means this needs to be fixed unless extra this need not to be fixed unless extra time is available on the project. So this is medium probability and low impact. Okay, so it's not compulsory that this particular problem can be fixed, it can be overlooked. Okay, so while evaluating it, you can overlook problems that falls on this particular number 2. Okay, except you actually want to be perfect, you want to be perfect on it. So it can always be overlooked. So if while evaluating it falls on number 3, so we say we tag this to be a minor usability problem. So fixing this should be given low priority. So the probability is medium or high, and the impact is medium. All right. So if it falls on the fourth one, so it is a major usability problem and it is important to fix. So it should be given high priority. So that's why we have probability is high slash medium, and then the impact is medium slash high. And if we have it to be usability catastrophe, imperative to fix this because without fixing this product should not or cannot be released. So it has to be given a high probability and also an high impact. So this is how you scale your when doing the testing. This is how you scale the product, be it a website, be it an application that you are evaluating. Remember, when evaluating, you can also evaluate prototypes. So it's not only a live applications that you do those. All right. So this is how you can actually well you can actually put it. So number one, cosmetic visual box, very low, fixed, very low. You don't really need to fix it. It's not except um, you want to. So this doesn't affect users. So it's only slightly annoying, or it's something users can easily overlook or they can't notice. Okay, so if it falls on 2, that means it is a minor annoyances. Your fix should be low. So can wait unless you have an extra time. So number 3 is small usability issues. Um, that is medium, affects some users, but not a blocker. Okay. So number 4, major usability issues. So this is high. It hurts user experiences and then needs attention soon. Okay. So we now have number 5 to be critical blogger, which is urgent. Like without it, nothing can actually work. So products um, can't go live until it is being fixed. Okay. Do we have any question? Yeah, let me be sure that we are following. Are we following? Okay, thank you. All right. So we proceed. So the third step is recommend design solution. So after doing all through this process, what are your recommendations? What do you think should be done? So suggest practical improvement for each violations, include mock-up sketches, textual changes, flow restructuring, could be flow restructuring and the rest. So these recommendations will speed up the ideations and design refinement phase. Okay, so what do you get or what will you get from this process? So you get a prioritized usability issue list. You also get a better understanding of real user pain points. You also get clear areas to improve your product user experience, and also a stronger foundation for iterative design. So these recommendations will speed up your ideation and also design refinement first. All right. So tips and best practices. So number 1 is adopt the user perspective during evaluation to understand their experiences firsthand. Okay. Don't evaluate based on a designer point of view. Also, identify all potential users' personas and then also select one for focused evaluation. Okay. All right. Map out major tasks in the user journey and define clear goals for each. I also evaluate tasks across different scenarios to accommodate varied user needs. Number 5, review layouts, functionality, and flows for clarity, consistency, and simplicity. and also recognize that one issue can violate multiple um, heuristics. So always focus on the root cause. Okay, and also assign 70 rating to each issue to prioritize what needs fixed. Avoid actionable design recommendations for each heuristic violation. So what at the end of this, what you should check is, do you understand heuristic principles, and do you understand your users? Can you identify major user tasks and joining? And can you define goals for each user joining or task? And then can you identify all possible use cases for a joining? And also can map out correct heuristics to an issue identified. Also, you should be able to assign 70 rating for each issue identified, and also prioritize the issue based on 70 rating, that's high to low. And also, you should also be able to add design recommendation for every issue identified after the end of this class. Okay, so let's look at this together. What heuristics does this is wrong? What is actually wrong in this case? Okay, let's proceed. What is wrong here? Anybody? What is wrong here? Anybody? Chidera. Is there anybody that can try or that wants to try? Or what heuristic evaluation should be done here? Like what is happening? All right, Vera, go ahead.
Okay, good evening. I actually just joined because I was kicked out, but from my little understanding, I think it's saying loading, but as the user, you don't know how many percent done it is loaded basically. So it just keeps loading, and you don't know how far it has gone. Yes, that's what I think.
Okay, so which principle does this fall under?
Um, Sincerely, I can't remember. I can't remember now. I have to revise my notes.
Okay.
I
All right,
had a
who?
very
Thank you. All right, no problem. Thank you. All right, who can try? Okay, Vera has done justice to it, but who can tell me what heuristic evaluation principle does this belong to? Anybody? So we don't know. Mr. Yemi, let me call him too. Why Mr. Yemi is I think he wants to type. Theophilus. What principle does this?
Even though it's not exactly an error, but I think helping users recognize and diagnose or recover from errors can also apply here. I'm not very sure, but I think so.
Uh, what when you say it's not really an error, what do you mean?
There is no like it's not this is a system progress. So it's not exactly like an error, like maybe he entered the wrong password or something. It's like a progress. So, but the user is not aware of what is going on. So the user can be carried along to recognize or diagnose or to understand the process that is happening beneath the system.
Hmm. Okay, saying hero 9 and 10. Okay, principle 9 and 10. Well, all right, Zina, please go ahead.
Good evening. Even if I cannot can you hear me, please?
I can hear you, go ahead.
Okay, so I can't remember the principle exactly, but it has something to do with give feedback or something like that.
Okay, Vera, go ahead.
Okay, I'm not sure, but I'm suspecting is the principle of visibility of system status. So, it's when the system should always keep the users informed about what is going on. So, in this sense, the user can see that the thing is loading, but he or she doesn't really know how far it has gone. So that's what I think.
All right, thank you. So that is it. That's the last. So it is what it is. Okay? Yeah. So Theophilus, you've gotten it now. Mr. Yemi, I hope you are also clear on what visibility it is or what principle it is now. Okay? We are at the conclusion of the topic, so I'm bringing in to also see how we are following up. All right, so let's okay, so let's look at this. So which heuristic is evaluation is involved here? So what is here?
Error. Matani Koshili. Ashira.
Someone's mic is unmuted. That please let me mind. All right, anybody? Okay, yep. Users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. So that's basically it. So it's telling you that it's an incorrect email or password. Okay. Error. It helps users like I think that was the ninth scale. Sorry, the ninth principle. Okay, please. Okay, that was the ninth principle. So Theophilus, why do you say it is so? Let me be sure if you know.
Okay, so there's an error happening there. So the error was stated in plain language and also um, letting the user know that what exactly might have been the issue, that the password must be in at least 6 characters. So it's also providing solution to or suggesting solution to the error.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Theophilus. So that's basically it. Okay. So recap and closing for today. So this I'm just going to run down so that as to remind us, because I just noticed that some of us we have forgotten the principles. So visibility of system status. So this helps keep users informed with timely and clear feedback. Okay, and match system between system and real world. You have to use familiar language and concepts that mirrors real life experiences. Okay, and user control and freedom. So allow users to undo and redo actions easily to recover from mistakes. Also, the number 4 principle is consistency and standard. So follow platforms convention. So students users don't have to guess about what does this do and how do I where do I get search bar from, or where do I get this, how do I open a menu and the rest of it. So error prevention. So designed to prevent problems before they happen rather than relying on error messages and the rest. So imagine this example we now looked at. we looked at, there was no hint as per you use 6-character passwords and the likes of it. So users will be guessing to and fro on it. Okay, so avoid that. Okay, when you are designing, think about problems that could occur while designing. Don't wait till since this is happening, let's think of a solution to it. Find a solution in the process, not after the process. Okay, so um number 7 is recognition rather than recall. So minimize memory load by showing options, icons, and instructions clearly, and flexibility and efficiency of use. So when designing, let it support both beginners and experts. So integrate shortcuts and customization while designing. And also aesthetic and minimalist design. Show only relevant information. Avoid distractions and glutters. And also the last principle is help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. So use clear, plain languages to explain problems and suggest solutions at the same. Don't just tell them what the problem is and then keep them hanging in guessing, oh, how do we solve or how do we go about solving this problem? Okay, so well, this is the last one, help and documentation. So avoid accessible help and provide accessible help and guidelines, even if the system is easy to use. So most times when you feel like, oh, to do transactions and the rest is easy, I can just click here because, oh, I'm seeing transfer here. Oh, it is easy. But at the same time, provide a hint text, provide clue for users to know that, oh, when I click here, oh, that's where I I can now do transactions. Okay. Um so note that good design makes users feel smart. Okay. And the best way to do that is to help them recognize instead of recall. And label clearly, confirm their action, simplify your interface, make findings easy, and never make them guess input format. All right. Also anticipate when your users will need help and provide relevant information that will support them in accomplishing their goals. Supplement your proactive help with the documentation repository that help users that users can refer to as needed. And remember to keep your content brief to the point and also easy to scan through. Don't make it bogus that users will know, oh, well, this person can write and the likes of it. All right. So I've included resources to this particular. This will take care of last class and today's class resources. Okay. And you when you have in your spare time or well when you are developing yourself, look through it. Click on the link and it will open on when you see it on the resources. Resources is always provided on the classroom type on your LMS. So if you have probably missed a class, always go to your LMS, you see my classroom. So if you click on my classroom, that will help you. You'll see the classes you've missed, or if you want to go back to refresh your memory, go to my classroom on the LMS. And with that, you'll be able to see those classes and then go through it. So um, it's time to ask your question. So do we have any question for today's class? We started late. I had to rush some certain things. Any question? You can use the chat or you can actually carry your hand if you have any question whatsoever. Okay, so I guess there is no question. So this is we are going to end our class for today. And thank you very much for coming in today. Even though I think most of us we came but for our Friday class, we'll be looking at a new topic entirely. A topic, I don't want to say the topic out now, but the topic we'll be looking at next class. Ha, I wouldn't want to miss it. It's a topic that most of us are struggling with why in design. So let us not be that the classes is more of theory and the rest. You see, I told you before now while we're doing our introduction today that we'll be looking at but once you are done with this training, you should have your portfolio ready. So when it comes to design, we are going to design. We'll design a lot. So we'll design a lot of screens. So don't worry. When most of us are looking forward to the design section of it, we'll bombard and Figma with design. Okay. So So thank you for today. And also, I noticed that most of us are not following our social handles. So our social handles is the same across all KodeCamp. KodeCamp. LinkedIn is KodeCamp. YouTube is KodeCamp team. Just type KodeCamp. It's going to come up. Instagram, KodeCamp. Facebook is KodeCamp. Then also on X, it is KodeCamp. So follow us on our social media. And so that will be the end of today's class. And Spade Friday's class is it's by 3 to 5. So and also come early so that we can close early. I hope all we are fine.